A pandemic, social movement, and call for action. All across America, small businesses are operating during unprecedented times, but they aren't letting COVID-19 stop them. How are they doing it? NBC New York followed one Manhattan restaurant behind the scenes through the ups and downs of the coronavirus.
A bar or restaurant that is violating these rules can lose their liquor license.
And it is not the time to forge ahead with indoor dining, but it is the time to double down on outdoor dining.
The bad ones who are exploiting the situation and breaking the law, by the way, this is not just morality, they're breaking the law, are going to make it bad for everyone.
And so far, we have 6,600 restaurants that have taken advantage of our Open Restaurants Initiative.
Brooklyn Chop House came for me because I come from a Greek diner background, and the last 15 years, I've owned Chinese restaurants. And what I've done with that is I've married my two favorite cuisines, an American steakhouse, taking sandwiches from the classic diner and making them into dumplings, and then surrounding it with what I call is LSD. At Brooklyn Chop House, you get salt and pepper, ginger lobster. You get the dry aged porterhouse steak, it's Americana, little salt, that's it. And then you got a Peking duck or Beijing chicken, all on table. So when COVID hit, we didn't have a business anymore. We're really not a delivery business, takeout business, but I said that's not enough. We need to make more of an impact. So we started doing meals for the hospitals. New York Presbyterian was about 2 blocks away. So we wanted to give back to them. And we just started sending them meals every night. They didn't even know it was coming. We just started sending it over 20, 30 portions. We didn't refuse one request. And we got up to 18 hospitals and police departments. We went over 8,300 meals in 3 months. The hardest part of this pandemic has been seeing the pain that has been caused to our staff. Morale was down to 0. And then once the hospitals started to really go strong by the end of March, I could see everybody was uplifted. All the nurses and doctors and janitorial and maid staff, everyone in the hospital started putting stuff on Instagram. They put one thing that was 20 feet long with literally 40 members holding it with a big thank you. And my staff was just like, wow, that is so cool. And I said, look, we are making an impact, a positive impact. It's not all about making money or losing money or whatever it is. It's about what can we do to give back, especially the ones that are keeping us alive.
When it came to COVID precautions, the team at Brooklyn Chop House took matters into their own hands.
So the city and the government gave us a 12-step reopening plan. With my team and I, we created 40 steps. I'll tell you some of them that are a little bit from left field. We took chemical strips and we put them all over the surfaces of the restaurant. When they turn a dark brown, that means that there's not enough disinfectant on the surfaces. When they turn blue, that means they've been disinfected.
So this is the area the city gave us for an outdoor deck, but the issue we have is the street goes down. So we're building an actual deck to level it off, and then we're putting a massive divider up, and we'll have up to a 75 seat. The second deck is open. I like the middle. The white one's down the middle. Great added safety.
And then we have the facial coverings that go down. Anyone that touches food has to wear a fishing cap and has a shield that goes down to the breastbone. The body thermal scanner for entrance takes your temperature automatically without putting a gun to your head, which I think is a little intrusive. Hi, reservation for 4. Can I see your forehead?
The body thermal scanner. What does it say?
Pass.
Pass! Yes!
If you're over 99.7, you won't be allowed in the restaurant. Someone said to me, how dare you put the metal detector into a thermometer and infringe on my civil rights? I said, I've seen this thing firsthand. And besides my own daughter, I actually saw body bags at one of our deliveries at Elmhurst Hospital. When I saw black bags on the floor, I didn't think that those were bodies, and they were. And my staff had a really hard time with that. When you think about stuff like that, finances and all that thing are a far second. So people ask me, so you did 40 things to protect us during COVID. How many will remain when there's a vaccine? I am going to keep saying 80 to 90%. of what we're doing now in place post-vaccine, because it's common sense, and we should have been doing it before.
Even while facing so many unknowns, this restaurateur forged ahead with opening a brand new spin-off quick-service shop, taking contactless dining to the next level.
The dumpling shop, the business plan I wrote, it was more like Amazon. You would get a really basic BS locker. You could order it from your phone, but when you picked it up, there'd be staff there guiding you, but you're actually just going to a locker. Now they have UV lights. Every time they're used, they get sprayed with UV light. All the hot food is like a bright LED red, and it's 100 degrees. And then the other lockers are like a bright blue, and they're 35, 36 degrees, carrying all your ice creams and your beverages. It's incredible. This version of my vision, I never would have dreamed that it would look like this. And it's so right with the time.
Now I'm off to do my 30-block walk to Brooklyn Dumpling Shop, which is on the Lower East Side. Gonna go in now and see what's going on. So this is the inside, as you can see, under construction. This is probably the coolest thing here is the dumpling machine. So this dumpling machine basically makes about 30,000 dumplings an hour. This is all the gas lines that are being done. So these gas lines will connect the equipment. So in 2019, I actually wrote a business plan bringing back the automat. The automat is the most cost-effective, cost-efficient way to deliver a product. And I started researching about Horn and Haddard, the founders of the automat in 1895, and how it exploded. It went from 5 locations in New York and Philadelphia in 1910 to 1922, and then post-Spanish flu in 1922, they jumped to 36 locations. So that got my attention. And I was just like, wow, we're still dealing with the same thing we did 100 years later with the pandemic. So when I created the Brooklyn Dumpling Shop, it was more about economics first, before safety. Right now, we are seeing rent deals that are 80% less than they were in March. We haven't seen this since 1930. And as bad as things are, I always say it even on my Instagram to young entrepreneurs, get up. You know what? It seems scary out there. But if you're gonna open a restaurant, if you're gonna open a retail store, time to do it is now. Because I believe the vaccine is on its way. And at the end of the day, this stuff is we're gonna get through all this. And if we get through this and you've made deals like I just did at the World Trade Center, a $28,000 store pre-COVID, I got it for $4,000 and they gave me a check to do all the renovations. You know, I would never see that pre-COVID. And this is where, young entrepreneurs, I push, get up and do it. There's so many opportunities out there to to get your chance, get your piece of the pie.
Along with virus challenges, the city confronts another growing movement.
Robert and I had conversations on how many franchises are Black and Latino owned, and it's just a small fraction. And stuff like that needs to change because I don't believe they have the same breaks and the same opportunities as, for example, myself.
We are giving away one of our new concepts, Brooklyn Dumpling Shop, an opportunity for a Black or Latino individual, whether it's they have educational culinary experience 2 years or they have been in the hospitality industry for 5 years. We're giving them a chance to own their own restaurant. Just seeing all of the events that occurred over the last few months, it's impacted us all. It's really gave America a chance to really look in the mirror and really see exactly what's been going on quite a while on all fronts. But I've never seen a moment where so many people of all ethnic backgrounds have come together to hopefully support and show the younger generation that, at the end of the day, it's just not about the color, it's about the person.
Our goal is to make the next generation have it a bit easier than I can say what Robert and his colleagues as Black entrepreneurs have experienced.
We are different ethnicities that come together. Myself, Stratus, my partner, David Thomas, our chef, Skinny Mai. We've all come together, and we're an example of what can be done and what actually needs to happen more often.
America should take a blueprint of what we're doing at Brooklyn Chop House and Dumpling Shop and see it really could work when everybody just, pushes color and race and prejudging people aside and just do it based on the character of that individual. I think miracles can happen.
I think we're creating magic, and I think people are seeing this. And, we're going to be an example going forward, and things just have to change.
So I just arrived at Brooklyn Chop House, free dinner Saturday night, and every night we're about 400, 350, 400 every night, full capacity. So we have 2 decks that we've done, and because of the demand, we got permission to build a 3rd deck. This takes up literally 1 parking space, 1.5. We're going to be hiring more people, and this can generate probably $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 a month to the city.
This is crazy. It's getting even crazier in New York City. The city came, made us take down 30 seats. I don't believe this. Look. They made us widen the aisleway so that everyone can pass by. It's just crazy. We're trying to survive. We're trying to, feed the people of New York City, but it's just been tough. We're here working. It's a great night. We're trying to rebound from everything that we've been going through the last couple of months.
The problem is that we had some inspectors that came and they said that it's fine. And then another inspector comes and says, well, it's not fine. It's like they keep changing the rules. And it's really, it's close to impossible to be able to function this way.
This is part of Brooklyn Dumpling Shop that's opening up in September, and this is going to be mail order around the U.S.
We just passed our plumbing inspection, but now we've got to wait for the electrical inspection to come back. There's always something, and what happens is every time pre-COVID, when there was an issue with the building department or issue with any of the trades, electric, plumbing, it gets resolved immediately. Now, when there's an issue with plumbing or electric, you don't even get an answer for 2 or 3 weeks. And then all of a sudden that joins into a month, and then you got to fix it. Then they got to come back and re-inspect. I mean, everything is just delayed. Nothing is moving on time. We're, like, perfect case scenario, we're open at the end of September. If not, it'll probably be October, November.
Actually in Vegas now, looking at a few opportunities for the brand, and hopefully, things work out. But we're getting interest from landlords all over the world. So that's it's a blessing. But then again, we want everything to come back so that it works for everyone.
Robert and I, our mentality is, you know what? Let's jump into the fire, because we really believe that there's not going to be these opportunities ever again in our lifetime.
I'm signing an executive order, and Judy will issue an executive directive later today, I believe, that will allow indoor dining to resume at 6 a.m. this upcoming Friday, September 4th.
Listen, I got 2 questions for the governor and the mayor. One is, how do you expect me to send my middle schoolers back to school in crowded hallways, but I can't open up my restaurant 50%?
A number of states moved ahead with indoor dining and found that it contributed to their either ongoing problem or resurgence.
Another night in New York City. Raining pretty heavy, but our tents have actually pulled through really great tonight.
Trying to get through these tough times as we navigate through the situation with the city, and hopefully they'll open restaurants back up and we'll have at least 50% occupancy. Right now it's just outside, as you can see.
We've been honest with the restaurant industry about the challenge, but I've also heard back that folks just want a final answer as soon as possible so they can make their plans up or down. I think it's our responsibility to give them as clear an answer in the month of September as possible.
I just want to understand the logic to that. because I've heard every excuse in the book why New York City restaurants can't open indoors, but everywhere around the boroughs can open. The second thing is, if you are going to keep us shut, where's the check? Where's the support? Where are the rent checks that you are going to subsidize by keeping us shut? I see no plan in that at all. They need to open up their checkbooks and make sure they give us rent credits or work a deal with the landlords that all us restaurateurs that are not opening, which is 50% of every retail store distributes food. I want to know how they're going to compensate for all the rents that we can't pay. They've never felt the pain of running a small business in the highest rent district in the country.
And this is also, affecting New York City landlords, because if the tenants, if there's so much occupancy, now they can't pay their mortgages. So this is affecting landlords, this is affecting families, this is affecting tenants, this is affecting restaurateurs, this is affecting employees. It's just a trickle-down situation. And the entrepreneurs and the restaurateurs and the small businesses are the lifeline of the economy. Like, we need these, mom and pops especially to survive this. And right now it's looking very grim. So I hope in the next coming months, they realize that, how much is on the line.
And that's really the disappointment with our leadership. De Blasio and Cuomo have never run a 7-Eleven. And you know what? They should not be making decisions for small business. New York City restaurants inside the 5 boroughs are not open indoors, but everywhere around the state is. I want to look at the data. I want to see the tri-state area. I want to see the restaurants in Nassau County and Westchester and Syracuse, and I want to see an uptick in the virus. There is none. It keeps on going down. Not just for us, the whole industry. We see what's going on out there. People are losing everything based on this decision alone. So gyms okay, bowling alleys are okay, airplanes we can fill up, and school hallways we can fill up. Restaurants in the outer boroughs, they can go 50%, but the highest rent district in New York City cannot open. And there is no relief in sight. How is this America?
And we're now announcing today that we can go to 25% of indoor dining with certain restrictions.
With indoor dining now available, the next chapter opens for New York City's restaurant industry.